Here's a question for you. Which tense are you using to write your memoir, past or present? Is this a dilemma you have, wondering which is the tense you should use when writing your memoir? In this video, we're going to look at past or present, which is the better tense to use when writing your memoir. Hello, I'm Brenda, and I do love to help you to write your memoir. So is it past tense or is it present tense? Is it was or is it is? This is a dilemma that came to the fore when I got an email from a viewer and a reader of my book. She commented on the fact that she was quite struck that I had written my memoir in first person past tense. She somehow was under the impression, she said, that memoir needed to be written in first person present tense, and she had found she was struggling to write her memoir in the first person present tense. So that led me to think, well, what made me choose past tense in writing my memoir? Did I even have this dilemma when I was writing my memoir? And to be honest, I didn't. I gravitated to past tense. And when I think about it, when I'm writing stories or I'm writing recollections, I always write in past tense. It never crosses my mind to write in present tense. And yet a lot of memoirs are also written in present tense. So is there one that is preferred over the other? I think simply it comes down to personal choice. Let's get that straight out on the table. I really think it comes down to personal choice and which one you gravitate to most, the one that feels most natural for you when you're writing. For me, past tense worked really well because I did a lot of introspective work. I wrote a personal narrative where there was a lot of internalization. And so past tense is just ideal for that, and I fell naturally into it. Now, a lot of people will say present tense brings the immediacy of the situation to your writing. So if you're wanting to write your memoir and you want to bring the immediacy to it, present tense is the way to go. And if that's a comfortable way for you to write, then it's perfect. But you may be feeling, well, I do want that immediacy, but I find I gravitate to past tense. I find that an easier way to write. Well, you know what? You're going to have that immediacy anyway. I know when I write and when I wrote my memoir, a lot of people comment on how they feel they write in the story with me. Even a letter I wrote to one of my brothers when I was like 16 years old about some craziness that was happening at home. He wrote back to me and he said, wow, when I read your letter, it felt like I was right there with you. And I know I would have written that letter and that story in past tense. And so if you're looking for immediacy, don't feel concerned that past tense won't give it to you. It will. I think it really comes down to your personal preference. I know that when I read stories or I read memoir, I never even notice which tense it's written in. It doesn't matter. If the narrator or the author is skilled enough to move me along in the story, to make the transitions seamless, to make the tense seamless, to make everything just sweep me along in the story, and the content of the story and the momentum of the story and building up to the climax, I'm not even going to notice which tense he or she is using. And the same will be for you. Your writers will be caught up in the story. They won't notice the tense. It's not going to matter. What matters is what is natural to you. I think the best way to find that out is to actually practice it. Take a piece and start writing and do it in past tense. Do it in present tense and see if there's one that you gravitate to. You may find that you actually start in past tense and then find that you switch to present tense without even knowing it. Well, that's possibly an indication that you are more comfortable in present tense. And the reverse may happen. I personally think past tense is easier to do, and that's why I've recommended in other videos that you choose first person past tense. So that is somewhere for you to start if you're new to this and you're wondering which one to choose. I would recommend first person past tense. Now, I know another challenge which this viewer also mentioned, and I experienced too when I was writing my memoir, is the slipping between tenses. If you find it really is a big issue, well, then you need to do some practice and you need to discipline yourself and train yourself to work in one tense. But it will happen to all of us that we're writing and we slip tenses. Don't worry about it. Really, that's what editing is for. I've come to understand in writing and even in doing YouTube videos, the magic is in the editing. Trust me on this one. The magic is in the editing. The whole purpose when writing a story, when writing your memoir, when writing any piece is not to get it right first time. It's to get the story out on the page and then to work through it again and to edit it. So those are my comments on past tense and present tense. Now, one other thing that came to me as I was preparing this video, and I'm going to throw it out there and tell me if you've ever read a memoir that has both tenses in it. So if you do, let me know. I'd be really intrigued to read it. So I think we're all now going to pick up our next book and pay closer attention to which tense it's written in and how the writer has chosen to tell this story. So thanks for being along. I'm thoroughly enjoying doing these videos. Thank you to those of you who have taken the time to buy my book and to read it and to give me feedback. I appreciate all of this community interaction. So I will see you in my next video as we continue to talk about all things memoir. I'll see you in that video.